Hi guys! For my World Geo final, I decided to do research on a bunch of different creation stories from different areas around the world. The first area I did research on was the Middle East, and the religion is more specifically Christianity or Judaism. The story goes as such. In the beginning there was nothing except the Spirit of God that was hovering over the waters. Then God created the entire world with words. The first day he created light. The second day was the sky and the land. The third day was the seas and the plants. The fourth day was sun, moon, and stars, essentially everything in space. The fifth day was the creatures that inhabit the sea and the air. And the sixth day was the animals and the humans. The next area I decided to do research on was Japan. The story goes as such. Long ago, all of the elements were mixed together with one germ of life. This germ mixed things around until the heavier part sank and the lighter rose. A muddy sea that covered the entire earth was created. From this ocean grew a green shoot. It grew until it reached the clouds, and there was transformed into a god. Soon this god grew lonely, and it began to create other gods. The last two gods it made were named Izanagi and Izanami, and they were the most remarkable. One day they were walking along and looked down into the ocean, and wondered what was beneath it. Izanagi thrust his staff into the waters, and pulled out some clumps of mud that fell back into the ocean off his staff. They began to harden until they became the islands of Japan. Then the two descended to these islands and began to explore them, each going in different directions. They created all kinds of plants, and when they met again, they decided to marry and begin to inhabit the land. The first child Izanami bore was the girl of radiant beauty. The gods decided that she was too beautiful to live in Japan, so they put her up in the sky, and she became the sun. Their second daughter, Tsukiyami, became the moon, and their third and unruly son, Sosnowo, was sentenced to the sea, where he creates the storms that plague Japan. Their first son bore all humans, and all emperors claimed descent from him. The next area I researched was China. The story goes, in the beginning, the universe was nothing but chaos, and the heavens and the earth were intermingled, a big black egg. Pangu was born inside of this egg, and slept for 18,000 years, during which time the yin and yang were balanced. When he awoke, he realized that he was trapped within the egg. He began to crack it and push it apart, essentially splitting yin and yang in half. The upper half of the shell became the sky, and the lower half became the earth. The longer he pushed them apart, the thicker they grew, and he grew taller, thus pushing them further apart, exactly 10 feet every day. Then a turtle, a qilin, a phoenix, and a dragon assisted him in this task. After another 18,000 years, Pangu died, his body forming the various parts of the earth, and the parasites on his body forming humans. The next story I researched is that of the Hindus. Their story says this is not the first world, nor the first universe. There have been, and will be, many more worlds and universes. They are made by Lord Brahma, the creator, maintained by Lord Vishnu, the preserver, and destroyed by Lord Shiva. Since the universes must be destroyed before they can be reincarnated, Lord Shiva is called the Destroyer and Recreator. These three gods are all forms of the Supreme One, and part of the Supreme One. The Supreme One is behind and beyond all. All worlds start with water and are created from there. The next culture I researched was Egyptian. The story goes that Nun was called the Ocean of Chaos. After an exertion of will, Nun became Ra, and he rose from the water. Then he gave birth to the gods Shu and the goddess Tefnut. They became married and gave birth to Geb and Nut, the earth and the sky. Ra cried over the beauty of his children, and his tears created mankind. I couldn't research mythology without researching my favorite, Greek. The Greek creation myth goes that there were gods Gaia, who was the earth, and Uranus, the sky. They birthed the Titans, the Hundred-Handers, and the Cyclopses. But Uranus was afraid because he received a prophecy that one of the Titans would overthrow him. That Titan was named Cronus. He came back and overthrew his father and killed him. Then, the same story went down, but this time with Cronus and Rhea and his kids, who went on to become the 12 Olympians. Zeus kills Cronus and scatters his body to make humans. The last area I decided to research is one I don't have a lot of experience with, the Native American tribe, Sioux. Their story is unique because the earth was already created. Humans exist as well. Their god's name is Takushkanshkan. He married the moon, and they had one daughter together. Her name was Wope. The creation of time was done by separating the sun from the moon, because Takushkanshkan's wife, the moon, had an affair with the sun god, that caused Takushkanshkan to separate the two forever, creating time. As I was researching, I noticed a lot of similarities between the myths. I noticed that all of the ones where the earth is created come from a void of nothingness, and is often depicted as water. All of the humans are created by gods, and they are usually born from godly pairings or a single male god. Some differences I noticed are that the Sioux myth is very unique. The earth and humans already existed and had yet to be discovered. The Christian story, or Jewish story, depending on the way you look at it, is the only story with a sole god and a set timeline.